Lately, it's become an issue of whether spouses of justices or judges should be involved in policy or politics. And Mr. Pitts, you worked for Judge Reinhardt at one time. He was asked to recuse himself because of his wife's employment. And he said this in his declining that request, quote, "My wife's views, public or private, as to any issue that may come before the court, constitutional or otherwise, are of no consequences." He also explained that when he joined the Ninth Circuit, ethics rules said that, quote, "judges should ensure that their wives not participate in politics." Judge Reinhardt noted that the rule had changed. Now, you work at Ultra Berzon and worked with Judge Marcia Berzon's husband many years. So a pretty simple question. Do you agree that judges' spouses can be involved in politics or the law?
Thank you for the question, Senator Grassley. I think certainly that there is a scope for the spouses of judges to be involved in public affairs. But judges certainly need to be very aware of the Code of Judicial Conduct that binds district court judges. And if I were so lucky as to be confirmed, if a case were to arise, I would carefully consult the Code of Judicial Conduct, any relevant opinions, and my chief judge to determine whether there would be any question as to my impartiality that could be called into question. And I would certainly make sure to recuse in any case where my impartiality could reasonably be called into question.
Last question to you, Mr. Pitts. Do you believe the meaning of a statute can change over time without being amended?
Thank you for the question, Senator Grassley. I think that the best evidence of a statute's meaning is its text, and that the Supreme Court has said that most recently in the Bostock opinion, for example, that we should look to the original meaning of the language as used at the time of its enactment to determine the meaning of the statute. So certainly if I were so fortunate as to be confirmed, I would follow the Supreme Court's guidance regarding the history or the time to which we should look for the meaning of language in interpreting any statute.
Judge Shopler, I'm interested in how you read the Constitution and statutes. First, do you believe in a living Constitution?
Thank you for the question, Ranking Member Grassley. I don't subscribe to any interpretive philosophy beyond what the Supreme Court directs me to apply in cases. So with regard to statutes, I would start always with the text of the statute itself, looking to the plain meaning of the words and the structure of the statute. I would look to binding Supreme Court and Ninth Circuit precedent, and that should resolve any ambiguities in a statute for me. In the event it didn't, I would use the interpretive tools that the Supreme Court has directed me to use, such as the canons of construction and persuasive and analogous precedents.
Do you believe that a meaning of a statute can change over time?
No, I do not, Senator. According to the Supreme Court, the statute is fixed by the intent of the legislators who passed it.
Do you believe that how should federal judges weigh policy considerations when interpreting a statute?
They should not weigh any policy considerations when interpreting a statute. A judge's job is merely to interpret and apply the law. It is left to policymakers and the legislature to determine policy.
Yeah. Judge Shavurian, as a practicing attorney, how often have you has your work involved criminal matters?
Thank you, Ranking Member Grassley. During my 3 clerkships at every level of the federal judiciary, I frequently worked on criminal matters. Over the past 15 years, as I've worked as a complex civil litigator, my practice has focused on civil litigation.
Have you had any criminal cases that you personally handled?
At Sussman Godfrey, during the last 15 years, my practice has focused exclusively on civil litigation.
Okay. Judge, well, my time's out. I'll submit the rest for answering questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Grassley. Senator Feinstein, you have any questions?
Yes. I have a question